Well, we want to welcome everybody here this afternoon on a hot day in May. Even though this is an unseasonably cool day for us, if the temperature for the high today we were to have throughout the rest of the next few months for summer, we may not need to be here, but we know that that's not the way it's going to stay. This year, the Don't Leave Me Behind Vehicular Heat Stroke Awareness Campaign is kicking off with some new partners to help spread the important message of never leaving children or pets in a car this summer. Tragically, a young life has already been lost before we even had the opportunity to begin our awareness campaign. So we're here today to rally our community to ensure that not one more life is lost this summer in Maricopa County. Working together with the Arizona Humane Society, Phoenix Children's Hospital, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, Hubbard Media, and K-Love and Air One, we're all joining together again to make sure that this easily preventable tragedy will be brought to the attention of our community partners from now until August 31st, reminding everyone that we don't want to lose one more life. That goes for our children and for pets. And I want to underscore the relationships that my office has had with these partners too. The Arizona Humane Society, this is the second year in a row we've partnered with them in this effort. Last year being the first year, we also had 0 fatalities among children or pets. And so we want to make sure that we can accomplish that again this year. Most recently, we also were able to partner together in support of House Bill 2671 that increased the penalty for knowing or intentionally cruel mistreatment or killing an animal is now a Class 5 felony in Arizona. So we're grateful for our legislative partners for finally helping us to accomplish a 4-year goal and for the governor signing that into law. Next, Phoenix Children's Hospital. This is our second year partnering with them in this effort, but we've had over a decade partnership with Phoenix Children's Hospital at our Family Advocacy Center and helping to come together to investigate, treat, and help heal children who are victims of sexual and physical abuse. And then with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, this is our first year partnering with them in our Don't Leave Me Behind campaign. But this office has partnered with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, again, going back actually decades. And we enjoy the relationship we have with Director Alberto Gutierrez, his support of law enforcement, and now the office's support of our Don't Leave Me Behind campaign. And we're welcoming aboard K-Love and Air One for helping with additional media outreach. Now, back to what is an easily 100% preventable tragedy. To give you a scope of this issue, since they started tracking these types of deaths in 1998, we've seen an average of 37 children every year across the United States lose their lives to vehicular heat stroke. So far in 2019, there have already been 7 deaths. Now, last year in Arizona, we had none during our campaign. The year before that, tragically, there were 2 fatalities. The year before that, we had none, which was the first time anybody could remember in our collective memories. We want to get back to 0 during the campaign, maintain that, and we don't want to lose one more life. And what needs to be underscored too is that no one's immune from this type of tragedy. And I urge everyone to comment or to commit and to not be complacent, to think that you can let down your guard, because it can't happen to you. It can. And while we should never rely on technology alone, it's encouraging to see that more and more vehicles now have rear seat alerts to help warn people that they may have left children or pets in the back seat. Also encouraging is the continued progress we're making on the legislative front. This will be the second year in a row that the Good Samaritan law for children and pets in vehicles will be in effect. And a reminder of that, if you see a child or a pet in imminent danger, you're to call 911. Make sure that there's no way to get into that vehicle. Otherwise, then use no more force than is necessary to rescue that child or that pet, and then remain there until first responders arrive on scene. If you do that, then you will not be charged with a crime and you will be immune from a civil lawsuit as well. Let me underscore, it is never okay to leave a child or a pet alone in a car during our summer months. From now until August 31st, we want people to remember that. Whether you're the regular parent, caregiver, or guardian, or you're the aunt or uncle or neighbor or friend who's helping out. When you have a child in the back seat, you have precious cargo. Remember who's there and remember your responsibility. And now I'd like to turn it over to the Arizona Humane Society and some words from Tracy Miller.
In the summer months, the Arizona Humane Society's emergency animal medical technicians respond to upwards of 40 calls a day, with a half or a third of those being heat-related calls. During our hot summer months, it's important to keep animals inside as often as you can and to never leave them in a parked vehicle. In the summer, a hot car is a lot like an oven. Even if it's 60 or 70 degrees outside, the inside of a vehicle can turn deadly to an animal that's locked inside. Pets are not able to cool themselves like humans are. They don't have sweat glands. They cool themselves by panting. So if they're unable to control their internal temperature by panting, their internal temperature quickly becomes 103 and heat stroke sets in. Some symptoms of heat stroke are loud, rapid panting, excessive thirst, vomiting, diarrhea, then seizures, and then unconsciousness. If your pet is experiencing any of these symptoms, please take them to a cool place, slowly start to cool them down, and seek veterinary assistance. This is the second summer in a row that we've had the Good Samaritan law in place, and this gives our community and AHS's cruelty investigators another tool to help save lives. In addition, with the recent passing of House Bill 2671, animal abusers will face stronger penalties in the worst cases of abuse. And finally, the punishment will fit the crime. We hope these stronger laws and this campaign will help everyone truly understand the importance of never leaving a pet or a child alone in a car for any amount of time at all during this summer season. And with that, I would like to turn it over to the Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Good morning, everyone. As one of the physicians at Phoenix Children's Hospital, I can only echo the sentiments you all have heard thus far, that this is one of the most tragic events that we will encounter in the emergency department during the summer season. As Mr. Montgomery alluded to, last year was the deadliest year nationwide. 52 children died of heat stroke after being left in an automobile last year. Thank goodness Phoenix was not one of those locations. There were no deaths last year, but we've already had one this year. So clearly the need is out there, that we all need to be aware of it. And it's so simple. It is 100% preventable. Remember that. But you have to be aware that it's a possibility of occurring. A car can heat up by 20 degrees in only 10 minutes after being locked. And even on a day like this, where you think it would not be a risk, even in the 60s, a car temperature when the windows are closed and the door is locked can heat to 110 degrees. It doesn't take that long for a child to suffer symptoms of heat stroke. They could be in a car for just that 10 minutes, and if their temperature rises above 104, 105 degrees, that is very likely when they might start to show the signs of heat stroke, which means you're already behind the 8 ball, as it were, to get that child help. This whole campaign is to prevent this from happening. And it's so easy to forget when it should be the easiest to remember. You know, try to come up with a strategy to remember that that child is in the back seat. And a lot of the instances that come across, it's when you're outside of your normal routine. You have to make an extra stop to the store, you forget certain things, and that's when this incident happens. So try to employ a strategy. Leave your cell phone in the back seat. Certain cars have keyless entries. If you put the key fob in the back seat and you close the door and walk away, the car will alert you that the keys are there. The whole idea, everyone, is please, please, please do our due diligence to prevent this from happening. It's 100% preventable, but you have to be aware of the risk. So again, please, at Phoenix Children's Hospital in the emergency department, we would not be upset for one moment if we did not have one of these children come through our doors. With that being said, I'm going to throw it back to Mr. Montgomery.
So this is where the freedom of the press works best, where we all come together to raise awareness in the community about a pressing issue that we need everyone to be mindful of. And again, vehicular heat stroke fatalities for children and pets is among the most preventable tragedies that we have within our community during this summer season. So again, to reiterate, come up with a strategy to remind you that there's precious cargo in the back seat. Maybe it's a sticky note that you put in the center of your steering wheel, above your stereo, or maybe you put that sticky note up against the driver's window so you see it before you get out. I like the doctor's other ideas about putting your key fob in the back seat. Most cars that have a keyless entry system won't let you lock it if that key fob remains in the car. So there's an additional layer of a reminder. Also, we all know in Arizona now, you shouldn't be on your phone texting while you're driving, so you can put that car in the back seat to help you stay safe, stay legal, and remember the precious cargo that you've got there. And then for our good Samaritans, if you see a child or a pet in imminent danger, make sure that the vehicle can't be opened or there's no other way to be able to get that child or pet out. Call 911. Use no more force than is necessary to secure them from the vehicle, and then remain there until first responders arrive. If you do that, you will not be subject to criminal or civil liability. And lastly, I want to thank our partners for coming back on board this year, Phoenix Children's Hospital and the Arizona Humane Society, and our new partners, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and K-11 Air One. Together, we can make sure that we have another safe summer, that we don't leave children or pets behind, and that we don't lose any more lives, not one more life. Thank you.